Today, let's take a trip down the coast to San Diego, California. Beautiful, sunny San Diego. Famous for La Jolla Cove, Balboa Park, Old Town, the Gas Lamp, Black's Beach, Legoland, and of course, Petco Park. But let's put aside that tourist stuff for now. Let's talk about a whole nother part of the city's landscape, where graffiti reigns supreme. Before we continue, show some bulletproof love and respect to the following San Diego graph heads for pushing the culture in the city in motion. Comment below your favorite SD crews and riders. And while you're at it, smash that like and subscribe button so we can hit the open road on more C.R.U.S.H unit road trips. The early days. San Diego started getting known in the mid-80s, with crews like Latin artists, All City Kings, and United Graffiti artists running things in the pit. Then you had guys like David Persuade Ross from COD and SUK, who started bombing in '86. He's now a global icon of the scene, a graphic design powerhouse who's always repping the 619, even after moving to New York. Speaking of New York, early New York hip-hop was an unstoppable force that showed us the fourth element of graffiti through influential books like Subway Art and movies like Wild Style, Style Wars, Beat Street, and even Crush Groove. I mean, who can forget that Crush Groove lettering on the VHS cover? Back then, that was fresh. And we wanted to bring that New York underground culture out west. But did we wait for the New York cats to tour the West Coast? Hell no, we did our own thing. And unsurprisingly, it became even more multicultural in Cali. As soon as the first needle dropped on a body rock record, it was on. Or The Breaks, or Planet Rock, or The Show, White Lines, and even Blondie's Rapture for the Art Punks. Too many to mention. Hell, heads were even feeling Chaka Khan's I Feel For You, learning to b-boy to impress the shorties. C.R.U.S.H Unit's personal, holy shit, what is this music moment came when we heard tracks like Jam On It and Rock It. Shout out to the breaking crew Upright Rockers out of Long Island. Suffice it to say, the music and movie showed wayward Gen X kids the way, and we never looked back. Now, back to the fourth element of hip-hop, graffiti. San Diego artists of 1985, 86, and 87 paved the way. Guys like Kano, King Clash, Slice, Psycho, Mirage, Kingdom, Chic, and Prince Illusion were running things in the pit, doing burners like you see out of the pages of Subway Art, but with a West Coast flavor. A little crude and stiff, sure, but within a few months, guys like Prince Illusion were introducing that wild style, and San Diego's graph scene blew up. The thuggish, ruggish 90s. Along with the West Coast rap game, graffiti went from braggadocio lyricism to gangbanging. For every Rakim and K.R.S. fan, there was a diehard Lil Rob and J.O. Felony listener, and they definitely felt that San Diego G-rap loud and clear. The culture shifted, and the early 1990s saw the emergence of tag banging. Yes, in San Diego. Even though LA was more active, it was popping off in SD too. You had crews like SKA, RTS, AEK, UNO, BR, aka better recognized, WSFK, SDV, UFC, TKO, aka Trust No One, COD, NVS, UIS, aka Up in Smoke, and dozens more. Dudes like Pryor, Thirst, and Alloy from SKA were killing it. These don't look like they'd stand idly by if gangbangers started harassing them. I mean, when an acronym for your crew includes Still Kicking Ass, and they refer to themselves as carnales, it's pretty clear they're down for their shit. They were down to throw hands and be that guy if things escalated. In 1993, the U.S. Department of Justice distributed a newsletter warning law enforcement about taggers and graph culture's growing violence. Quote, the San Diego Police Department has been documenting taggers, similar to the way gang members are tracked. Eventually, it will be possible to identify a suspect by his tag and/or crew name. The nuisance value of property marring vandalism has given way to violence, as tagging crews arm themselves for protection from gang members, or rival crews, or even citizens who get in the way. Taggers have also aligned themselves with some gangs for protection. It is important to attack these vandals every way possible, beginning with the "it's just tagging" mindset of some in government, law enforcement, and the judiciary. End quote. There's more. It started off by stating that, quote, graffiti is a growing problem in San Diego County, its practitioners wreaking economic havoc and causing neighborhood blight. In addition, these practitioners, called taggers, use their mobility to take gang crime beyond the confines of their turf. End quote. C.R.U.S.H Unit invites our supporters to comment below, since the history of San Diego crews and their allegiance to certain hoods are few and far between.
Where you vatos from?
Who clicked up with Logan Heights? Was tag bagging active in National City? What about Mesa Margarita, Paradise Hills? Which crews and riders had beef with each other? Drop those comments. All we know is that by 2001, Mid-City Division Police were on high alert to quell the problem. The violence was exploding everywhere. Youth-oriented resources and counseling were implemented by the local government as they realized buffing out tags was like putting a Band-Aid on a stab wound. By the early 90s, a crew called Trust No One were catching wreck. SDV, NVS, RTS, UFC, SPC, DAT, UNO, SKA, AEK, BR, EBK, UIS, WSFK, and FHC soon got in on the action. Taggers like Zane, Dice, Saki, Arrow, Bust One, Romeo, and Zeno were up everywhere. DJ and writer Zodak fully immersed himself in the culture, at one time being a member of hip-hop group Swollen Members. All this illegal activity got somewhat legitimized at some point. At a spot known as the Writer's Block, Tagger kids were able to do their thing without the fear of cops putting cuffs on them. The Writer's Block was just some old dirt lot, a space to store old buses. But soon, they built a screen printing shop, where writers learned how to print their art on everything, from t-shirts to party flyers. They threw barbecues there, parties with local DJs, and even built a ramp for skaters. Saki said, quote, "I believe that San Diego is the first city on the West Coast to have an NYC graffiti scene, beating out LA and San Francisco by a year or two. San Diego has a long and healthy graffiti scene, going all the way back to the 50s. The scene in San Diego right now is mostly crew-based. You just see crew names up on the freeways and other typical places. I'm used to writers putting their own names up, in plain sight, which is something I like more than crew names. I've been there and done that with throwing up your crew name, being that I was part of the first wave of crews here in the SD scene. When I first started writing, along with my partner Kays, our goal was to be up in your face, hit walls that were out in the open, to pull off what others thought impossible." End quote. The yin and the yang. Zane from West Coast Artists sees the art world adopting graph as a positive and negative. He misses the raw fear and excitement of illegal bombing. Now, it's more tame. The biggest name in the game, spray can company Rust-Oleum, has a product called 2X. They'll plead the fifth on it, but it's obvious that it's geared toward the graffiti market. And other cans come with fat caps, soft caps, and all that there. We no longer have to collect blank stickers from the US Postal Service. Now we can buy them ready to go at hip-hop shops. Zane looks back fondly at those times when he and Demo were delivery drivers. They'd roll around the city and catch tags while they worked. Their boss would ask what took them so long, and they'd blame it on the traffic or a car accident blocking the road. You can imagine memories like that, their formative years, being forever etched in Zane's memory. The good old days indeed. Rack and roll. Shoplifting isn't something to be proud of when you're a grown-ass man, but back in the day, racking was an art in itself. You had to be crafty and confident. Think about all the cans you'd need to bust a burner. Yeah, we simply didn't have the cash for all that. Crush Unit clearly remembers playing video games at an arcade, maybe buying a 40 or two, and eating a bag of chips for lunch. That was our allowance right there. Michael, Arrow Amarillo, now an accomplished fine artist and muralist, was a master of the five-finger discount. Zane recalls how Dude would walk out of art stores with hefty bags full of cans. There were all kinds of little tricks. Wear a necktie and slacks, looking like a company man with a briefcase. But in that briefcase was only a towel, to muffle the rattling of the mixing ball inside the cans. Walk straight out, and bam, that's 8 cans right there. 100 markers if that's what you need. You roll up with a group of homies like that, and it's a big score for the day. Sometimes, the ends justify the means. The blank canvas. So where is San Diego's graph scene headed for the future? The wave of commercialization crashed and receded like a tsunami. Not just in SD, but all over the world. And it's not just aerosol art. Cholo culture is deep in Tokyo. Those Japanese cats are rolling Impalas that'll make your head spin. Vintage Stussy and extra-large shirts are hip and soul. And of course, Korean b-boys are some of the best in the world. There are skate parks in Zimbabwe. Supreme collabed with Louis Vuitton. Point is, homegrown California cultures that were once underground and members only are ubiquitous. But is that such a bad thing? It's a divisive topic to be sure. You can say someone is a sellout, but is it really diluting a culture when said artist is feeding her family with their art? All we know is that it's important to document the culture. Back in the 80s, we obviously didn't have the internet. Now, in 2025, a few clicks of the mouse will tell you all you need to know about San Diego's graffiti and hip-hop scene. Well, to a point. you still have to search and dig for the podcasts, blogs, books, documentaries, and yes, YouTube videos to get the full picture. The cross-pollination of hip-hop and everything under the sun is staggering. But yo, onward and upward. Thank you for riding with us on this little road trip covering San Diego street art. If you want to travel up north to the Bay Area to check out their scene, click here. Peace.